has probably tripled since in the last 50 years. And the number of cops hasn't tripled. So I believe that they're doing the best they can do under the circumstances.
It's very hard out there, you know, especially as a black officer. You know, it's a different type of respect. You know, they fear mostly white officers, and they look at them as the law. And then on the other hand, they see a black officer and they try to appeal to him or to make him side with them. It's a very hard job. You know, we are public servants. However, in black neighborhoods, we no longer public servants. We are the law. We looked at as a negative that we're the ones that are putting down the raft of control. But it's at the point where that's our only option because they're not respecting one another.
It's getting more and more frightening as we take care of patients in the ER to see the different range of people that are come in. And we're talking now 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, things like that, which we didn't really see before. Initially, you thought 18, 19, 20, 21 kids hanging out into fights like that, but now we're seeing young children getting shot, drive-by shootings, kids at the roller skating rink getting hit by fire or just standing around. So this is much more devastating, and these kids are dying. Not only dying, even worse, or just as bad, they're being paralyzed. So many kids getting hit in the back, paralyzed from the waist down, and this is awful. This is extremely bad, and we'll see much more of this as time goes on.
Usually, like back in the days, we used to knuckle up with these, know what I mean?
So we
like,
do all day.
Gun violence, man, that's like taking people out the game. Like you ain't bring them here, like you ain't got no right to be taking nobody out. You feel what I'm saying? Basically, they scared, man.
They're scared, that's what it is.
It be the scared ones who kill people anyway.
Exactly, that's why they got guns for.
I think gun violence has a major effect on people in the area, kids in the area, because of the fact that the children are growing up and they see the older people that they look up to with guns, owning guns, using the guns for certain issues. So they grow up thinking that having a gun and using a gun to resolve their problems are fine, which is not.
You know, we do everything we can to try to change their way of thinking, but unfortunately some of them are just stuck in their ways of how they react to the community. You know, they're being conditioned, you know. I once, looked at 3 generations standing together sharing a blunt, Dumb, Dumb and Dumber. You know, if you're the younger member and you're looking at the older one and you're seeing the life that they're leading, that should tell you that that's not the road you want to take. You know, you have young men that are still living with their parents in the community, and it's all basically boils down to economics. You know, which we're trying to the best of our ability to work with these young people through the foundation, through Aspiring Youth, through Assemblyman Kamara's offices. We formed the Crown Heights Coalition. We're constantly on the lookout for jobs and training for these young men to get them off the streets, away from this way of life.
One thing that we just did last week, we had a wonderful program called Summer Solutions in Bauer Park, where we got approximately between 10 and 15 different community-based organizations to present different programs for summertime for kids to get involved in, whether there be programs that kids could be employed in or recreational activities. We try to put together as many resources for kids to be involved in terms of, keeping busy, learning activities, or even just plain old recreational activities. And there are quite a few in New York City. And this is something we really, we felt was a really important event. And this is something part of what the coalition, the Crown Heights Community Coalition is doing.
And we need to get a message. We need more role models for them. And me, myself, I'm a role model, because as I see the students, I talk to them, I tell them the importance of going to school and getting an education, to stay away from drugs, and to let guns alone. And don't be a follower, be a leader.
There are too many young people that are dying innocently and not having a chance at life, not having a chance to grow and to enjoy what life is really about. It's definitely a key issue. It's a key concern. It's an issue where I think people are afraid to even deal with because they're afraid of the retribution that can take place. And it's getting to this point now where people are trying to consciously to become concerned citizens and to make some sort of change, and that comes by talking to our elected officials, having people become better advocates. I think that's one of the things about Crown Heights is the Crown Heights Mediation Center. Our goal is to have people become advocates, to really make concrete change by actually making quality of life better for every individual in the community. So our goal here is to educate, to build relationships, sustainable relationships and partnerships with other community-based organizations, elected officials, police department, district attorney's office, and to work with people in the community, to work with people who have some sort of vested interest in the community. And even if you don't have a vested interest, whether you work in this community, we want you to be a part of this whole idea of making change. And change can only come by talking to the elected officials and lobbying and pushing for better gun legislative laws.
Listen, bullets have no names. You got people who get a gun for the first time and they get happy. Everybody been trigger happy they had a gun in their hand before. You also got to remember, you your own man, you your own woman. Just because you see somebody shoot somebody, you don't know what that is. It takes hard to do it though, but it's a big consequence behind everything. If you're going to jail, you're going to be on the run for the rest of your life. That shit ain't cool.
I feel every young kid should sit back in their neighborhood and just pay attention to what's going on around them. And if is that what they want for their future and the future for their kids, think about their little brother or sister or their little cousins, you know what I mean? I feel that's what every young kid should do. Sit down, pay attention to this environment. Don't pay attention to these rap songs and the videos. Them dudes is fake, you know? All that music is lavish to everybody. They ain't real like that. A lot of these kids, they playing they tough, and when they get behind the wall, they screaming for mommy and daddy. You know? I've been there already. Ain't nothing sweet about it. That's what I feel.
Okay, the number one reason why young people shouldn't pick up a gun because they won't have the opportunity to be all that they can be, what God created them to be.
I've given advice to a lot of youth, but little advice has been taken. On many occasions, I've seen the same youth on the ground with a chalk line. And at that time, I can't ask him, did he really know what he was doing? Prior to that, he was probably telling me he know what he's doing. Nah, he's not involved in that. No, that's not gonna happen to him. You know, he's trying to get out. But now he's permanently in. He's in a coffin, he's in the ground, he's not around.
I had a hard life, bad nights. Got jumped, lost fights, lost half my sight. Got beat with pipes. I've been through more beef than a sharp knife and never commit a single crime. And still I seem to collide with these guys with flags in their pocket. They're looking quite awkward. They say something smart, then that causes a problem. Now you have two options: either run from the conflict or get your face stomped in. Their problems escalate until the body's put away. So let's set the record straight and put all the guns away. I mean, beef doesn't belong to the streets. It's something you eat. So stop thinking war and think peace. Let me teach you this little lesson. Let's stop using these weapons. All this violence is senseless. Street wars are endless. Use your fist for protection. Not to mention my boy Jelani got killed. Just to show you I meant this.
Sometimes life is so hard and I've tried everything so far, but I keep trying. People keep dying. Not realizing that every day is gonna be the same day. Waking up, still going through the same things.
Sometimes I wonder how we brothers got the same father, different mothers, but always killing each other. And it makes no sense to me. Let's end the beef. Forget about all the grudges we keep. Let me hypothetically speak. Rolling deep with your peeps. Not gonna do it all.